KDDI Newsline, I'm Calico Sacco. US President Donald Trump's top official for trade negotiations has hinted at an extension of the deadline to work out deals with countries facing tariffs. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says he hopes they can ink the agreements by September 1st. Bessent told Fox Business a lot of the countries are feeling pressure to get a deal done. That's because the 90-day pause on what Trump calls reciprocal tariffs ends on July 9th. Bessent says the US has 18 important trading partners and is seeking to wrap up deals with 10 or 12 of them. He says they hope to make an agreement with another 20 by Labor Day. Meanwhile, Trump said his administration has terminated all discussions with Canada over its plans to tax US technology firms. He says new tariffs will be imposed within the next week. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney told reporters talks would continue.
Any reaction to the... We'll continue to conduct these complex negotiations in the best interest of Canadians. Negotiations?
Japanese negotiators are still working to cement a deal. Economic Revitalization Minister Akazawa Ryose is in Washington for a 7th round of talks with U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. They agreed to continue to work hard towards an agreement. The United States may be getting a new chairman of the Federal Reserve sooner than expected. Treasury Secretary Bessent says Trump has indicated he'll decide on the future of current Fed Chair Jerome Powell, whose term ends next May in the autumn. Bessent made the remarks in an interview with U.S. business channel CNBC. The president nominates the Fed Chair from among 7 members of its Board of Governors. The term of one of the members is coming to an end in January. Bessent says Trump will first need to get congressional approval to appoint a nominee to the outgoing board member's seat. The Treasury Secretary criticized the Fed's monetary policy. He said it failed the American people in 2022, letting inflation get away when it should have been hiking interest rates sooner. He said the Fed may once again make a mistake by delaying rate cuts. When asked about himself standing as a candidate, Bessent said he has the best job in Washington, but he'll do what the president wants. US firm Maxar Technologies has released satellite imagery of Iran's Fordo nuclear site that shows new activity around the area. Imagery captured on Friday shows vehicles and equipment near holes believed to be craters from airstrikes. The vehicles and equipment were not seen in imagery taken last Sunday, right after the United States bombed the site. The company says several excavators and bulldozers are still moving dirt. It says efforts are underway to repair the main access road to the nuclear facility. Meanwhile, Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei claimed victory on state television on Thursday. It was his first address to the public since the ceasefire with Israel was announced. Trump called the statement a lie in a social media post on Friday. He claimed he had saved Khamenei by stopping Israel or US forces from killing him. Trump warned that Iran has to get back into what he called the world order flow, or things will only get worse for the country. People in central Myanmar are still struggling exactly 3 months after a powerful earthquake. More than 3,700 people died in the disaster and thousands of others were injured. One of the hardest hit areas was the country's second largest city of Mandalay. Workers are sparing no effort to clear rubble and rebuild infrastructure. Many residents are living in tents and makeshift shelters. One survivor told NHK about how difficult it was trying to get by with her husband and 2 children. Life is really tough here. We need financial help to rebuild our home. We want to return to our normal lives as soon as possible. The quake flattened scores of offices and factories. Smaller firms have been unable to resume operations due to a shortage of funds and workers.
I need money to rebuild my factory, which was destroyed. I've had no income for the past 3 months, and have been living off my savings.
The head of the United Nations Development Program in Myanmar says he's worried that international concerns have waned.
Myanmar unfortunately, I refer to it as not a forgotten crisis, but I would call it a neglected crisis.
It's urging the international community to step up its assistance. The European Union has proposed making all eel species, including the Japanese eel, subject to trade regulations under an international convention. The EU and other nations submitted the plan to the Secretariat of the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. Parties to the convention will attend a meeting in Uzbekistan starting in November, where they will discuss the proposal. If it's approved, international trade in eel species will be subject to the regulations, and countries will need to issue permits to export eels. Japan's agriculture minister has urged other countries to jointly oppose the proposal.
Stocks of Japanese eel are properly managed by Japan, China, South Korea, and Taiwan. The species is not at risk of becoming extinct.
Whale's eel is a popular dish in Japan. Fisheries agency says the country relies on imports for about 70% of its eel consumption. The agency says if trade in Japanese eel is regulated, imports will fall and prices could surge. Parties to the convention made the European eel subject to the regulations in 2009. In 2016, they adopted an EU proposal to conduct a study of the global eel trade. The EU has said that the eel trade lacks transparency. Sweltering heat gripped much of Japan on Saturday, with temperatures soaring to 35 degrees Celsius or higher, especially in western parts of the country. The hot weather is expected to continue on Sunday, prompting heat stroke warnings. A daytime high of 36.4 degrees was recorded in the town of Yamata in Hiroshima Prefecture. The mercury reached 34 degrees in central Tokyo and Osaka City. Tokyo Fire Department officials say that as of 9 p.m. on Saturday, 43 people in the capital had been taken to hospital with symptoms of heat stroke.
It's so intense, I feel overwhelmed.
Whether I wear a hat or use a parasol, it's hot either way. Temperatures are likely to remain high, mainly from the Kyushu region in the west. Heat stroke alerts have been issued for Sunday in prefectures in western Japan, as well as Okinawa's main island and Yaeyama regions. People are advised to take precautions against the intense heat, which is expected to continue for the coming months. And these are the main stories for this hour.